Satan is literally throwing a party outside my house right now. Seriously, I hate summer. In fact, if I see one more person complain about us fall lovers excited that it's almost fall, I might lose it. Hi everyone, my name is Holly, and in today's video I am doing a book on haul. So my shelves are becoming very packed and unruly. So bad, in fact, that I actually found a caramel apple sucker wrapper in between my books. So I decided that it was finally time for me to do another book and haul, and I really want to do these maybe every couple months or so at least, because I do tend to get rid of books often. Like I say in my other book and hauls, if I unhaul one of your favorite books that is not a personal attack to you, I will be donating it to someone else who will more than likely enjoy it more than I will. So these first set of books that I'm about to show you are books that I have read, but I either just don't love them enough to have them on my shelves, or I DNF'd them or hated them. So the first book I'm getting rid of is The Blackthorn Key by Kevin Sands. I actually recently read this. It's a middle grade following a boy who is like a apothecary apprentice, and he ends up having to investigate like a murder that is happening among like all of the alchemists, and it was kind of interesting, but it wasn't enough for me to love it. I think I gave it about 3 stars or so. So yeah, I'll be unhauling this one. Up next I have Dreamology by Lucy Keating, and this is an ARC that I got quite some time ago, and I read it and I actually really enjoyed this one, which is a surprise because it is a contemporary, but if I want to reread this one, I will just buy a hard copy of it since this is a floppy paperback. The next book is The Spirit Collectors by M. Starkchild. This is another review book that I was sent by the author, and I was really enjoying the beginning, but it took like this weird turn and I ended up DNFing it actually, so I don't mind getting it off my shelves. And then we have Beastkeeper by Kat Hellison, and I didn't enjoy this one too much. It took me a very long time to read, even though it was so short. It's a fairy tale retelling, I believe. If I remember correctly, it had like a Beauty and the Beast retelling to it. So yeah, unhauling this one though. Next I have The Curious Charms of Arthur Pepper by Phaedra Patrick. This is another one that I recently read and I enjoyed it, but not enough to keep it on my shelf. This next one I did not enjoy, and that was Mirage by Somia Dowd. This book actually just recently came out, I believe, and I was so disappointed by it. It's like a sci-fi fantasy book and it was just so boring, and yeah, I am very happy to get rid of this one, honestly. The next book I also really didn't enjoy, and that was Gunslinger Girl by Lindsay Ellie. This book promised it to be like this Wild West Western badass female protagonist kind of story, and it absolutely wasn't anything like that at all. The only thing Wild West about it was that the main character wields 2 revolvers, and in my wrap-up of me reviewing this book, a lot of you told me that, well, Holly, it's a futuristic Wild West story, but honestly it wasn't even futuristic at all. There was nothing futuristic about it. Oh, I should probably mention this one. I haven't read it yet, but it's Bloody Rose by Nicholas Iyamis. No, I'm not unhauling this one because I hated it. I absolutely adored Kings of the Wild. It's one of my new favorites. It's the first book to this one, but Orbit actually sent me 2 copies of this one, and I will more than likely be sending this one over to Kristen from Super Space Chick because I know she's going to love Kings of the Wild, and she doesn't own this one yet. So I will more than likely be sending this off to her, but I figured I would mention it. So this next very large set of books are books that I have owned since 2015 or earlier, and I have yet to read them, and I have never even thought about reading them, so there's a very good reason why I'm unhauling them. That first one is Sound by Alexandra Duncan. Now this is a YA sci-fi, and this is actually the companion novel to another book, and I never plan on buying that first book just so that I can read this one. Someone else can enjoy this. Ocean of Dust by Graham Ing. Jacob of Avondale by P. Craig Packer. Saltwater Witch by Chris Howard. This one was a little bit tough to let go just because this cover is so pretty. I think it's like a mermaid story. I'm never going to get to it, so it's gonna go. I'm finally getting rid of Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini. I have a video that I did a while back where I talked about the books that I have owned the longest, and this was one of them, and I still haven't read it since I did that video, so I am never going to pick this one up. And if I ever in the future feel like I want to read this book, which I kind of highly doubt it, I'll just like buy the Kindle version and it'll be all good. The next two are behemoths of books, and the first one is The Other Side of Eve by Paul Eichen. I really butchered that one. This is another one where the cover is really cool and there's even illustrations like the chapter headers, I believe. So yeah, the chapter headers have like these illustrations on them, and the back is even really cool. Honestly, I look at this book and I absolutely dread picking it up. I have never once thought about reading it, but it's seriously such a burden because of how big it is, and it's like destroying my shelf. So it's gonna find a new home. The next big one is The Madness Project by Jaylee Brolick, and this one is a pretty big fantasy series, and I just never see myself picking it up. I never see myself picking up the other ones. It's another very large book, over 500 pages. I've never heard anyone talk about it, and yeah, it's just gonna go. Alrighty, this next set is actually a trilogy, and I might get some comments about this one, and that is the Rebel Belle trilogy by Rachel Hawkins. Yeah, this one's gonna hurt me, isn't it? This consists of Rebel Belle, which is book 1, Miss Mayhem, which is book 2, and Lady Renegades, which is book 3. So I have heard very good things about the first book, Rebel Belle, but then I have heard many more things about how the series literally gets really bad as it goes on, and I just don't have the time and energy to deal with that. And I even thought about, hey, maybe I'll just read the first book, but my conscience can't deal with that, so I thought might as well just take this off my TBR, and I have no regrets. No regrets, people. Don't live your life with regrets. And the last one in this set is Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick. This is like a YA thriller. It sounds really cheesy. Doesn't sound like something I'm going to enjoy, so it's going. Alright, so this last set of books are just books that I have lost interest in. And the first one is The Geography of Me and You, or You and Me, sorry, I got that backwards, by Jennifer E. Smith. I tried to read another book by Jennifer E. Smith. I forget what it was called. It was a similar title though, and I really did not like it, and one of the main reasons was because I didn't like the author's writing style, so I don't need this one. The next one is also a contemporary, and it's Scarlett Epstein Hates It Here by Anna Breslaw, and there's a piece of hair on it. This hair literally gets everywhere. Honestly, I bought this book on a total whim, like for no reason at all. I didn't even know what it was about. And recently I read the synopsis and I literally cringed so badly at the synopsis, and it was my sign that I needed to get rid of it. The next one is Magonia by Maria Davana Headley, and I am not the biggest fan of magical realism. I tend to not like them. And this one sounds like a very confusing magical realism. A lot of the times if I'm going through my shelves and I'm trying to decide if I want to unhaul books or not, I'll look up the rating for the sequel, and the sequel had awful reviews, and I just don't want anything to do with it. And I know, don't ever go into a book even if it has little ratings, because you just don't know if you're going to like it or not, but I just don't have interest in reading this one anymore. The next one is another kind of tough one, and that was Dream Strider by Lindsay Smith. This is a YA science fiction, and my reason for unhauling it is because I'm seeing the word military science fiction surrounding this. Next is A Madness So Discreet by Mindy McGinnis. Now, I read Given to the Sea by Mindy McGinnis, and I absolutely hated it. So I like to give authors a second chance, and I started reading this one actually, and I didn't like it, just like how I didn't like Given to the Sea. It's the writing style, I think. It just doesn't mesh with me very well. So this one's gonna go. I also have Zeros by Scott Westerfeld. This is another kind of tough one, but the synopsis literally sounds like The Darkest Minds. I would just much rather read The Darkest Minds. And also I still have the Young Elites series to read, which is kind of a similar plotline to this one. So I don't think I need this on my TBR. So that is it for my pretty large book on haul. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up for me. It helps me out so much. And don't forget to subscribe. I upload videos every single week. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I am at Holly Hearts Books, and also on Twitter at Holly Niece. And if you are interested in my past book on hauls, I have a whole playlist full of them. I will link that down below for you. So until we meet again, happy reading. Oh, Charlie horse. Oh, that's horrible. Book on a haul thumbnails are seriously the worst. I don't even have every book. Oh my god. I'm getting angry. I'm getting real. Holly's getting angry. Okay, this is gonna have to do. There's a book in here that just keeps sliding out, and I'm gonna throw it out the window. Okay, that's gonna have to do. I'm gonna look horrible. I gotta smile even though I'm really mad. Oh shit.